Global politics has never been simple, but it has never been as complex as today. Multiple factors are adding into this complexity. Ever growing population is one such factor. On a global scale, 4.3 babies are born every second, or the world population increases by 259 persons every minute. Growing size of the nations impacts the resource requirements and hence affects their national priorities. Other critical factors include the distribution of material and energy resources as well as the development of new technologies. This distribution gradient forces the nations to associate with each other. The influence of these three factors, namely population, distribution of material and energy resources, and the development of new technology, has grown manifolds in last 100 years. The population has grown over 400 times, from 2 billion in 1930 to 8 billion in 2022. The acceleration in the exploitation of resources and the development of technology is a very recent phenomenon. Breaking and forging of alliances and blocs for peaceful or otherwise purposes keep happening around the globe. Pre-globalization, when the movements were difficult and slow, most of the alliances were neighborhood-based. This situation has completely changed. Activation and expansion of the BRICS bloc are the latest addition. With Russia-Ukraine war sending recession-like electric shocks to the world, especially the West, the simmering voices of de-dollarization of the global economy are adorning the international mainstream media. Many growing economies want to join BRICS. Let's see how the politics inside the BRICS bloc may impact their future. Before the BRICS summit in Johannesburg, two important events occurred in India. The SCO Council of Foreign Ministers met in Goa and G20 Tourism Working Group met in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. In Goa, the foreign ministers of India and Pakistan remained uncomfortable with each other. The cold engagement was visible, widely discussed, and overshadowed the summit proceedings. Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was very non-diplomatic and unwelcoming host. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari was equal to the task. He remained the darling of the Indian media throughout the summit. Same old allegations were hurled at each other. Pakistan reminded India of her illegal occupation of the state of Jammu and Kashmir and raised the voice of the people of Kashmir. On the other hand, Indian side repeated their rhetoric of cross-border terrorism. Such non-productive engagement is a routine matter in the context of India-Pakistan relationships, and these hot exchanges may have withered with the event closing, but it did not happen. The foreign ministers of China and Afghanistan took flights from Goa and landed straight in Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan. They held trilateral talks, something that India didn't want. To add further to the Indian frustration, China boycotted the G20 Tourism Working Group meeting held in Kashmir from May 22 to 24. This reflects Chinese resolve to stand with Pakistan on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, a clear rejection of the abolition of the Article 370 of the Indian constitutions that guaranteed special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. In another recent development, India has decided to hold the next SCO summit in virtual format. This is scheduled for 4th of July. It is being reported that moving it from the physical to the virtual format is because the Indian side failed to secure the confirmation of participation from the Chinese and the Russian president. India and China are the key players in BRICS. They form the core. If the core remains hot and fluid, the association may not achieve its objectives. India and Pakistan has a history of 75 years of animosity. On the other hand, China and Pakistan have been enjoying cordial mutual relationships during the same period. Indian acrimony and Chinese investment in Pakistan are face to face. Both nations need to find a middle ground to avoid any permanent stalemate. Military skirmishes at India-China border are also constant feature. India has fought 4 wars in last 75 years, 3 against Pakistan and 1 against China. The region cannot afford major conflicts if it has to develop. A few decades of peace are needed for any such development. The BRICS nations, especially India and China, have to think flexible and out of the box if the bloc has to grow. Most of the aspirants willing to join the BRICS are also in strong relationships with the Western world. There should not be an either or situation. The emergence of this bloc is a test for the global leaders. The existing and the emerging players need to respect each other. They must forge alliances instead of enmities to fight the common enemies such as hunger, disease, illiteracy, and intolerance.